You think you're ready, but 5 myths quietly stalk you. They wait patiently for your first real emergency. They smile because confidence is easier to break than bone. Listen closely because each myth steals survival odds silently. And the first one is disturbingly popular everywhere. Myth 1 says gear automatically saves unprepared people. It whispers that equipment equals competence. Truth hits harder. Tools amplify skill, never replace it. A knife is useless without practiced hands guiding intention. A filter fails if you misjudge contaminated water sources. This works because survival depends on decisions, not objects. Skill builds neural shortcuts that hold under pressure. Fear disrupts fine motor control, making gear clumsy. So train before trusting anything packed neatly. Your brain is your real multi-tool, not the backpack. Myth 2 promises heroes remain calm automatically. People love believing adrenaline becomes instant clarity. Reality argues otherwise with sweaty palms and tunnel vision. Stress hijacks thinking, compressing logic into primitive reactions. You can't improvise bravery during escalating chaos. Calmness is rehearsed, not magically discovered mid-disaster. Breathing control lowers cortisol and preserves reasoning ability. Grounding techniques anchor awareness when panic claws upward. Practicing scenarios builds mental maps, reducing fear spikes. This works because preparation rewires stress thresholds naturally. Myth 3 insists fire solves everything immediately. People romanticize flames like universal miracle currency. Fire warms, cooks, signals, comforts, but misbehaves constantly. Most emergencies punish over-reliance on unstable elements. You can't burn wet hardwood using sheer determination. You also can't ignore ventilation without consequences. Smoke inhalation cripples faster than cold night air. Fire becomes ally only with respect and restraint. Understanding fuel moisture prevents wasted energy later. Heat management protects lungs and maintains essential stamina. This section is based on practical field survival experience rather than formal academic sources. Myth 4 believes help always arrives quickly. Movies trained you to expect roaring rescue engines. Reality prefers delays, confusion, and limited communication. Disrupted networks choke emergency responses instantly. Grid failures cripple dispatch systems for critical hours. Bad weather buries rescue routes under stubborn obstacles. You must assume self-sufficiency long before sirens appear. Building redundancy turns waiting time into survival time. Backup light sources protect you during darkness spikes. Extra water reserves maintain cognition under stress. Basic first aid knowledge buys precious minutes always. This works because autonomy stabilizes chaotic timelines. Myth 5 says strength beats strategy automatically. People imagine survival contests as pure physical endurance, but emergencies reward foresight more than muscles. Strategy extends limited resources through deliberate planning. Strong arms can't replace environmental awareness ever. You must analyze risks before selecting any action. Poor choices burn calories and increase dehydration rates. Smart pacing preserves energy for unavoidable challenges. Strategy also prevents accidental injury from haste. Injuries shrink survival odds faster than hunger. This section is based on practical field survival experience rather than formal academic sources. Now let's stitch these myths into real consequences. Imagine trusting gear blindly during sudden infrastructure collapse. Batteries die faster than expected under cold temperatures. A broken latch turns fancy tools into useless decoration. Skills adapt when objects fail unpredictably. Training creates improvisation passed down through repetition. You handle unknowns with calmer internal rhythm. Meanwhile, panic blinds you to obvious safe options. People freeze because thinking becomes fragmented noise. Mental clarity is the quiet hero of disasters. It decides when to move and when to wait. Fire management becomes lesson in responsibility. You understand heat spreads through materials differently. Insulation melts under misjudged placement easily. Flames require oxygen, space, and controlled feed. Misused fire destroys shelters faster than storms. Balanced fire keeps you alive without rebellion. Help delays reshape your entire survival mindset. You begin planning for long waits intentionally. Delayed rescue no longer surprises your expectations. You carry essentials assuming autonomy by default. That shift transforms anxiety into structured readiness. It also reduces decision fatigue significantly. Strategy then becomes your quiet and visible armor. You spend energy where it truly matters. You observe environment instead of wrestling it. Awareness multiplies every advantage discreetly. Strategy turns chaos into partially predictable patterns, and predictable patterns reduce unnecessary suffering. Now let's expand these ideas into practical guidance. Start training micro skills that strengthen reaction times. Practice navigation without constant digital assistance. Map reading sharpens spatial understanding under pressure. Learn basic shelter logic using available materials. Ventilation plus insulation create temperature stability. Understand natural wind patterns shaping comfort zones. This section is based on practical field survival experience rather than formal academic sources. Build routines that condition calm responses habitually. Slow breathing stabilizes heartbeat during sudden shocks. Focus techniques prevent spiraling fear thoughts. Practice makes calmness automatic during crisis peaks. Preparation forms confidence grounded in real capability, not fantasy courage borrowed from rescue movies. Fire discipline becomes everyday practice through observation. Study fuel behavior in small, controlled environments safely. Notice how dampness alters flame efficiency drastically. Learn safe spacing to prevent accidental spread. Respecting fire eliminates preventable emergencies quickly and ensures warmth without unnecessary danger. Plan backups assuming communication failure always. Radios require charged batteries and clear signals. Messages can distort under bad atmospheric conditions. Establish meeting points before disasters occur. Agreements beat improvisation when panic spreads. Redundancy makes chaos feel less personal. Strategy now ties every lesson together efficiently. You choose paths offering safest predictable outcomes. You avoid unnecessary risk disguised as bravery. You conserve calories through smarter movement patterns. You understand limits without ego interference. You survive because choices become deliberate. Now revisit myth 1 with sharper clarity. Gear supports skill but never leads it. Mastery comes from repetition, not collection. Training transforms equipment into trusted extensions. Understanding builds reliability under pressure. Repetition creates instinct free from hesitation. Myth 2 dissolves under disciplined, calm practice. Panic loses power when rehearsed responses exist. Breathing becomes shield against cognitive collapse. Focus organizes chaos into manageable pieces. Myth 3 becomes reminder about responsibility.
Fire demands respect, planning, and controlled environments. Heat management keeps lungs protected always. Smoke awareness prevents accidental suffocation risks. Myth 4 strengthens your independence mindset. Rescue delay becomes expected variable, not surprise. Self-reliance speeds crucial early decisions. Autonomy builds resilience during prolonged uncertainty. Myth 5 elevates strategy over brute strength. Intelligence balances resource depletion effectively. Smart pacing prevents dangerous exhaustion loops. Awareness protects you better than pure force. Now combine everything into one core truth. Survival is never one skill but interconnected disciplines. Remove myths and clarity replaces false confidence. Build habits shaping reliable decision frameworks. Trust training more than assumptions or gadgets. Respect limitations without surrendering hope. Prepare deliberately before emergencies find you, because survival favors practiced minds, not confident myths.